All right, looks like both players are ready. Classic Tetris Monthly Mega Masters Top 8. Dengler versus Sidnev. Let's go ahead and get them started. I am excited. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And yes, this is really the first time we're actually trying to start this match officially. And starting off with double long bars. Now that is something that does not happen in the actual NES Tetris game on the cartridge. It's something that happens in Tetris Gym though. So yeah, so we got the double long bar start. Okay, I feel like I'm thrown off a little bit, but that's okay. On the left side, it is Dengler. Dengler qualified into this tournament with a 1.78 million. That's the average of his top 3 scores played in a 90-minute qualifying period. He's got an overall PB of 5.43 million. It's good for about 14th on the overall high score leaderboard. Tied for 7th in the Premier poll, the most recent one. Was that with Miles? I think that might have been with Miles. I don't remember. But Dengler has been in the Masters event semifinals 3 times. That was actually 3 months in a row back in 2024, August through October. He's made it to the Final 4 in CTWC's championship event last year. Also top 8 in 2023 and was the winner of the Northeast Regional in 2024 and maybe Dengler's proudest accomplishment, first in CT 12, a level 12 star tournament in 2024. Also as a perfect max out, right? Start, all Tetrises basically, until a max out. And someone else who has a perfect max out is Sidnev, who is on the right side of the screen. Sidnev qualified in with a 1.44 million from the Netherlands. It's an overall PB of 7.22 million, a former CTM Masters event winner. That was last year in August. 154 for Dengler, 255 for Sidnev. Sidnev got that perfect max out just like, was it last month, right? So all Tetrises and then a single on level 22 to clinch it. So literally the barest minimum. Now you do not have to get all. I don't think you get. And she held out for that single to get that perfect max. So it's pretty amazing. Sidnev, of course, second in CTWC in 2023. 280 for Sidnev, 225 for Dengler. So yeah, the runner-up in 2023. That was the fractal year. And Sidnev, kind of a jacked up board here, but a long bar would really help her out. There's the bar. Okay, she can start to bring this down. This is going to allow Dengler a chance to get back closer. Sidnev was also top 8 in CTWC 2022. That was the first year back after the 2 online pandemic years. Won the Austria Regional in 2024. Also a back-to-back C-Tech winner. Classic Tetris European Championship. That is a PAL NES Tetris tournament. It's basically the championship. Won that in 2021 and 2022. 369 for Sidnev, 305 for Dengler. Dengler's board up pretty high here, but those 2 long bars are really going to help out, and Sidnev gets those same long bars as well. So Dengler really with the big bail, my word. Tetris Dengler 397, 394. Sidnev. Dengler ahead by a few lines though. When the lines are tied, Sidnev's ahead by about a Tetris. There's a little S-spin there for Sidnev. Both of these players got 2-round buys, so they actually got to start in the top 32. Dengler defeated ID Kirby and Coal Bucket to get here into this top 8. Sidnev defeated Tetris Time and Deck CL. 512 for Sidnev, 491 for Dengler. Both of these players are kind of known as pace merchants, right? Highly efficient, high scoring early. Although high pace not here for Dengler, just kind of a regular quotidian kind of pace here. 521 for Dengler. Better pace here for Sidnev, about 561. There's a Tetris 586. But yeah, it is not uncommon to see both of these players with mid to high 600K transitions. We've seen it many times in our tournament. Level 19, that speed increase has hit. That is a 50% increase in the speed vis-a-vis level 18. All right, Dengler trying to get rid of some of the gaps on the right side. Long bar over Tetris, Dengler 581. There's one Sidnev, 665. Reindermund with the 510 contribution to the prize pool. Thank you very much. It gets it. Oh no, Dengler going to top out on 21 at 609, and Sidnev is good in game number 1. So kind of living high on that board and not able to get anything over, just kind of high centering, hanging the piece, and that is a thing that happens. Prize pool, which has swelled to $14,900.70. You can use the Matcherino command here on Link, the Matcherino command here on YouTube or Twitch. Dengler and Sidnev, 3-2-1 Tetris. These two players have met in Mega Masters before. This was in 2023, by the way. That was the round of 16. And Sidnev took that one. Dengler with a little bit of danger here early on. All right, going to get this uncovered. Long bar dependent in the middle of the board, though. Oh, no. And that is an early top for Dengler in game 2. And Sidnev is already good. So Sidnev going to take a quick game 2. 3-2-1 Tetris. Yeah, they have met in Mega Masters before. That was round of 16, 2023. Sidnev took that one. And as Sidnev mentioned in chat, Dengler has beaten her in a very high-stakes match. CTL playoffs, 4-3. That was a reverse sweep. Also, Dengler with a win against Sidnev in the, I believe it was top 8? Yeah, it was top 8 of CTWC last year. Dengler did go to the semifinals. And in CTM overall, though, Sidnev is up, has won 4 games to Dengler's 1. But overall, 4-3 Sidnev. And the 2 that Dengler won were pretty high stakes matches, CTWC and then CTL playoffs. This is a pretty high stakes match too. 94,000 for Dengler, 94,000 for Sidnev. I Love Brownies 3 says, are they on Nestris or just console? Yeah, they're just on console. Nowhere near as good as being on Nestris. They're just on console. All right, nice little burn with that square for Sidnev is going to get her basically Tetris ready. Long bar over Tetris Sidnev, 122, 102 for Dengler. All right, long bar over for both. 129 Dengler, 146 for Sidnev. All right, Tetris for Sidnev, 215. A couple of bars for Dengler, 197. Now getting a little droughty here. The stacks starting to come down. And this is a tough matchup because both players have the ability to put up, big paces. And so of course, they're both aware of that. And so that's, going to be a factor in how they approach the match. You can see some, do I go aggressive? Do I not go aggressive? This is probably the toughest kind of match to navigate because if if both players, you and your opponent, know that you're capable of putting up big paces, it also can be volatile, right? Where you playing up higher, taking more risks. And on the one hand, you've got to you potentially might have to get a big score. On the other hand, your opponent could, since it's volatile, has a higher risk of topping out. So it's very difficult to navigate. And of course, you yourself have an ability to put up a high pace too. So it's really tough. Tetris for Dengler, 341. 383 for Sidnev. Oh, Mr. Brain wants game sounds in Tetris. I think that might be coming. 387 for Dengler, 407 Sidnev. Another Tetris Dengler, 410. Tetris is here worth 22,800, and that's almost exactly the score difference. Is one Tetris. But when the lines are tied, yeah, they are actually pretty close in score. So no, there's basically no difference. Yeah, at Nestris.org, of course, taking the NES Tetris community by storm. People really enjoying playing on that. I think I'm getting better as a result of playing on that and doing puzzles, and just my Chasedown nerves are almost gone because you're just playing in all these matches and you're chasing down and you just have, dozens of opportunities to just, it's almost like practicing, at matches. They are real matches because they're being counted, but I do feel like I'm getting better. 534 for Sidnev. 571 for Dengler. And it wouldn't really surprise me at all if there are players who, this is what they needed to sort of go to the next level, like Nestris.org as a training tool. And, if over the next 12 months, new top players started to enter the mix. Dengler, 621, 592 for Sidnev. Dengler is on now into level 20. One line apart, Dengler up by about 54,000 points. Tetris Dengler, 672. All right, Sidnev's board. Starting to get a little minor complications in the middle here, so just needs to clear all this away. 604 Sidnev. Dengler now has found a rhythm. 706. All right, board climbing a little bit, needs to uncover, will uncover, and recovers. All right, Sidnev's board back down. Long bar Tetris 670. And there's one for Dengler 749. Sonic Clang says, if you love Nesters.org, become a patron and help Primer keep it going. Yeah, I did just become a patron the other day. So I've got my flair now. Everybody knows, like, oh, wow, look at you. You support it. 812 for Dengler, 710 for Sidnev. Yeah, you get to show off your flag or your little rolling badge there, or a little diamond. All right, Dengler going to uncover that right side well. Long bar Tetris, 848. He's ahead by 77,000 points. Lines are close. Oh, Zempro very showing off. Dual patronship. All right, Dengler's board has gaps in multiple rows and columns. So try to bring this down. All right, Sidnev kind of waiting out a drought. And a long bar over for Sidnev. I think that was a Tetris 832. Dengler got one over. That's like triple on the right side just to help bring this down. And it looks like, yeah, you just can't seem, and really just 10 lines away from 29. And Dengler trying to make some progress in bringing this board down. Oh, no, and that's going to be a hang for Dengler. He's going to top out at 889. The chase down target for Sidnev is 890. 890 is the chase down target. If Sidnev can, oh no. Oh no. What? Oh my God. Sidnev needs to bring this down. 890. And no, that is going to be a top out for Sidnev. And Dengler went offline. So Dengler actually takes game number 3, but he's offline. So hopefully he knows it. In 3, 2, 1, Tetris. All right, starting off with the, all right, there's no Joltsy to start off the thing. I could just call it a Joltsy, except that somebody already made a game called Joltsy. But in my opinion, if the Tetris company wanted to do something very clever, they would make a Tetris kind of based game similar to Yahtzee and call it Joltsy, and somehow you have to roll the 7 pieces or whatever. I don't know, but they would make some sort of dice oriented Tetris version of Yahtzee called Joltsy, and they could reclaim that name. All right, we are underway. Players getting their initial boards. They're getting their initial Tetrises. They're 1 point apart. They have very similar stacks, very similar lines and scores. And yeah, the game pretty stingy right now. But long bar's over and Tetrises. And more Tetrises. 155 Dengler, 152 for Sidnev. Yahtzee is fun, like for a simple game. I like it. Now, I don't think you have to go to Target and spend like $20 on Yahtzee. I mean, it's 5 dice and a cup and a pad. So you can just get 5 dice and play it. 197 Sidnev, 202 for Dengler. Oh, speaking of Pass the Pigs, I was playing, speaking of Yahtzee, I was playing Pass the Pigs yesterday, which is like a pig version of Yahtzee, really. You roll 2 pigs instead of dice. Okay, long bar over at Tetris, Sidnev. Yeah, the seeds really seem horrible right now. Like, we have not had very fun seeds the entire game. Okay, Tetris Sidnev 275, 261 for Dengler. Boards starting to come down. Dengler with a good Tetris ready board. Long bar over Tetris Dengler 283. Sidnev is drilled back down. She's set up for a Tetris. So we have the regular Pass the Pigs game, but we also have the big pigs, and they come with these big foam pigs that are like the size of softballs. We've never played that, but it's fun to just have giant foam pigs. 349 for Sidnev. Dengler getting set up with a long bar into column 9 to get Tetris ready. There's a Tetris Dengler 401. All right, Dengler setting up. Long bar into column 9. Ooh, sets up the little S-spin slash J-tuck and gets the spin. All right, so have a little gap there in the board. It's going to slow her down. And Dengler with the bar and the Tetris 493. So he's out ahead by 8 lines and also ahead by 50,000 points. That means the scores are actually pretty close because Tetris is here worth 22,800. So pace-wise, Dengler a little bit ahead, but not as much as their real-time score difference would indicate. Cute Pup Jesus says, I wouldn't want to try and explain why I have giant foam pigs in my home. They're not that giant. I mean, they're the size of softballs. You know, if they were like real pig size, then that might be a little concerning. But, you know, listen, I'm not judging. 537 for Sidnev, 584 for Dengler. You know, live your truth, I guess. All right, Dengler's into 19 at 609. Okay, Sidnev uncovers the well, trying to flatten out that board a little bit while she waits for the bar. Long bar Tetris, Sidnev in at 566. So Dengler with about a 40,000 point lead or difference at transition. Tetris Dengler 715. Long bar Tetris Sidnev into level 20 now. Dengler is halfway into level 21 already, though. So there is a line difference, which means it's pretty darn close. Oh, nifty little burn there for Dengler. And long bar over Tetris, 751. And another one. Sidnev gets one to 695. Dengler ahead by 85,000 points, up by 15 lines, though. Next for the follow, Austin Natan 22. Tetris Dengler 872, so he's gotten out to what I think is actually now an actual lead. Tetris is on 25, worth 31,200. So Dengler ahead by like 3 Tetrises. It's actually still pretty close in terms of like their actual paces. Assuming all the lines were made up by Tetrises. Yeah, it's real close. Tetris Sidnev 807. There's a dirty for Dengler, and he gets the T-spin to shore this board up. Thank you for the follow, Austin. Welcome. Tetris Dengler 987. 821 Sidnev. 13 lines ahead roughly for Dengler when their boards are about the same amount of material. Tetris Dengler A60. Sidnev at 890. The A, it means 1 million points. Tetris Dengler into level 29. The speed has doubled. He's got 1.1 million now. Sidnev still 15 lines to go until that level 29 transition and speed increase. And we'll see what she ends up with as a score here. All right, Dengler's right side could use some attention. He gets something over here, but oh no, the hang. That's going to be a top out for Dengler at B51. The chase down target for Sidnev is B52. B52 is the chase down target. Now she's got 100 lines until the next speed increase at level 39, and that will double this speed and be virtually unsurvivable. Sidnev going for the Tetrises here. I don't know if she's listening to commentary or screen checking, but she's got about 55,000 points to go. Tetris is on 31, or 38,400. So right now at this point, basically a Tetris to go. Does not have to get it by way of the Tetris, though. Can score the points any way she wants. The board started to climb, and that is going to be a top out for Sidnev at B16. So Dengler is going to hang on and take game number 4, and we are going to a decider. By the way, it's a good time to remind you, if you want to contribute to the prize pool, you can. I mean, we're already up to $15,020 spread across the 16 players. If you want us to pay the top 32, we will get to we got to get basically to 17,780. So if you want to contribute to the prize pool, use the Matcherino command on Twitch and on YouTube. Let's get them started in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. All right, starting off with the OSJT and then the S again. So we do not get our golden begin or rainbow start. Is that what people are calling it? The rainbow start. All 7 pieces. Someone called it the golden opening. A rainbow start. All right, Sidnev setting up the Vits. And a T-spin. Gets the Vits. Not able to get the T-spin, though, so it just kind of flicks that S in there. Instead, let's get a few rows of garbage over that right side well. All right, going to open up that right side. There's a Tetris Dengler, 71,000. There's one Sidnev, 53,000. As we get underway in game number 5. All right, Dengler, long bar over. There's a Tetris, 117. All right, Sidnev going to expose that kind of canyon in the middle of the board there. And has a gap there in the middle of the board that's going to prevent her from getting the Tetris, but we'll get the triple, and now she's working one row off the bottom. Tetris Dengler 188, 118 for Sidnev. All right, Tetris Dengler 236, 145. for Sidnev. Right, Tetris Dengler 282. Another Tetris Dengler 351, 261 Sidnev. Okay, Tetris Dengler 443, 356 Sidnev. All right, so Dengler up by about 108,000 points. All right, gets that tuck of the tee. Good setup with that square. We're just about 20 lines away now from the level 19 transition. There's a Tetris Dengler 580. And Dengler with a 600K and still 9 lines to go. So he could potentially have 3 more Tetrises. Wouldn't be quite a 700K, but it'd be pretty darn close. But no, he's going to have to just take the burns and clean this up. $651 Dengler, $522 Sidnev. $675 transition for Dengler. Huge transition. $546 for Sidnev. Decent transition as well, but Dengler's transition huge right now. Long bar in Tetris Dengler. Sidnev gets one in, 576, so it's about 130,000 point lead. Oh, thanks for the Prime sub, Austin. Appreciate that. Dengler with a Tetris, 810. 631, Sidnev. There's a Tetris. Okay, Dengler with that kind of wanted to get that J-tuck in, but ended up doing it too early. He does get a long bar in for a Tetris, so to bring the stack down, now he's got to just work on fixing that right side. It's going to allow Sidnev back in, maybe make up some of this lead. But Dengler ahead by about 137,000. Tetris Dengler 885, 747 Sidnev. There's a Tetris Sidnev 808. Tetris Dengler, 950 on the nose. Sidnev with a covered board here. There's a nice L piece to help bring that up. Or kind of just start getting this cleaned up anyway. Long bar Tetris Dengler, 983. Same line count, and Dengler ahead by 140,000 points when their lines are tied. All right, Tetris Sidnev 949, A54 for Dengler. The Dengler with the max out. Tetris Dengler, A91. Tetris for both. Sidnev's got the max out now. Dengler with the 1.1. We are headed into the 29 phase in just a few lines. Dengler trying to take this down. Take a safe board in. Long bar Tetris Dengler in at B72. Dengler going to uncover. Wants a quick bar here. Covers the well, but uncovers. Long bar over Tetris Sidnev. A95 into 29. Long bar Tetris B32. Dengler ahead by 50,000 points, but no, Sidnev going to get a Tetris here. Let's see if these players are going to handle this. Tetris Sidnev, C15. She's now in the lead by about 24,000 points. All right, Dengler needs to get something over to that right side. He's trying to take care of it. Okay, these flat burns are helping out. He's uncovered the right. He's not going to be quite ready for a Tetris. So there's a triple. Sidnev with a Tetris, C77. C26 for Dengler. And Dengler's got a low board. Sidnev's board starting to climb a little bit, but she's going to uncover that right side. Long bar over Tetris, D27. All right, Dengler now looks like he's trying to get set up, and he is set up. Sidnev ahead by almost 100,000 points and gets a Tetris. Long bar Tetris Dengler, C92. Another Tetris Dengler, D36. There's one Sidnev, E34. Dengler uncovers. Long bar Tetris, E25. Long bar Tetris Sidnev, F24. Long bar over Sidnev. That board starting to complicate. That gets a triple down the right side. Dengler 100,000 points behind. Sidnev's board starting to climb a bit. See if she could bring this down. I mean, 14 lines to go. There's not going to be much Tetrising happening here. Long bar Tetris Dengler, F35. Sidnev tops out at F87. The target for Dengler is F88. Where's he going to find a Tetris here? He gets a triple down there. He's going to miss with that L piece. He needs to find a Tetris. He's got to find a Tetris. I don't know where he's going to do it, and that is going to be a top out for Dengler. And oh no. So 1.5 millions here in the decider. Sidnev is going to hang on by 30,000 points and take game number 5. And Sidnev will be moving on to the top 4. Both players with early quits, but, you know, quit a game and win. I get, you know, quit a game early and you win it, I guess, is how it works. Hey, everybody, this is your old pal, Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.